So whereas economic anthropology sees how economic behavior embedded by other socio-cultural institutions such as religion, polity, kinship, marriage, family, these kind of things. So that embedded terms you can talk. So economic anthropology not only embedded with other social institutions, it look for how humans interaction with nature. So about this cover, nature interaction. Okay, last now economic system in which the core principle of economic system methodology attached look economic life of integrating with other marriage. Okay. So economic anthropology concerned with relationship between people involved in the transaction, people involved such as who produce, where produce, how they produce, all these things are matter, the relationship between the parties involved in the transaction. So in the kind of general reciprocity, balanced reciprocity, negative reciprocity, and redistribution and market. So whereas it never focus on the relationship between the parties involved in the transaction. Okay, and so economics mostly concerned in the urban societies or civilized societies, but economic anthropology covers from origin to present times. So its scope is widened from simple societies to urban societies. Thereby what we can say that the economics is also part of economic anthropology. That's the conclusion of it. And moreover importantly, there are lot of definitions regarding economic anthropology. You must talk about the definition. Is there any single author name in this entire essay? So there is a group of people who subscribe substantivism, who subscribe formalism. Those substantivism people you brought into these definitions. So అవన్నీ పెడితేనే మనకి ఆన్సర్ గుడ్ అవుతుందమ్మా, లేదంటే జనరల్ ఆన్సర్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. Definitions must answer. Potlatch. Here, this is the ceremonial exchange viewed by relationship to their prestige. Nowhere it is linked viewed in the aspect of economics. Okay. Nowhere it is linked with viewed aspect of economy. So it's aspect of economy because here it involved production of copper plates, woolen blankets, as well as canai building, canai making, everything. So there is a economic production, but this production is used to destroy in front of the guests to rise the political status. Thereby economy production is linked with the political status. So how economic system embedded with the politics, and here religious aspects also there. So life cycle ceremony time lo potlatch కూడా celebrate చేస్తారు. So religion and economic production got interlinked. So these things you can show as economic anthropology. Stock market functioning and the data related to the how many stocks got sold and related data. Though their core function is similar, they vary on the socio-cultural aspect which integrate the principles of economics. So you can also including here Kula. Potlatch and Kula, they show that the relationship between the people is very important than the profit making. So must and should include definitions of economic anthropology. Every social institution definitions are mandatory. So why here demand of the question itself is not like economics and economic anthropology. For economic anthropology, you must write the definition. Economics, it is the subject which deals about production, distribution and consumption in modern societies. So it deals with the entire humankind from past to present. First find out the keywords in the question, then write surrounding to that questions. Ceremonial exchange. Exchange of goods means give and take of the goods. Ceremonial exchange is a type of exchange which pushes for strengthening the relationship between the individual. The exchange of goods are non-utilitarian in nature, so no benefits is accrued to the parties, those who exchange them. Principles, characterization, characteristics behind the ceremonial exchange. Ritual gift giving, bounded by ritual regulation, driven by values, non commercial in nature. They are being exchanged and strengthening the bonds between them, pave the way for new set of commitments. They attain the emotion, ceremonial value, ceremonial value to the goods and services that are exchanged. Example: gift during the family wedding, functioning, functioning gifts, rituals in West Africa, presenting gift to the priests in the temple, kula exchange and potluck ceremony. Here is the two systems of exchange of non-commercial, and they are related to socio-cultural aspect. There is no gain in this exchange as kula ring. They strive to strengthen the relations, and where it is potluck prestige aspect. So ceremonial exchange is all about integrating society. So you don't have sufficient knowledge. Okay, ceremonial exchange examples: kula and potluck. Kula system studied by Malinowski. So why don't you write where it is present Malinowski in his text Ergonauts of Western Pacific, as well as Trobrianders, Islanders. So what are all the goods of ceremonial in nature? So Mauli and Savalavi, they are ceremonial in nature. Did you mention these names anywhere? So this question, so there 4 to 5 concepts are there. So I tested everyone, but here also, if the same question comes up here like this, means ceremonial exchange means what goods are ceremonically important? Is it daily utilitarian or non-utilitarian? In Kula system, what constitutes ceremonial objects? So those things, contemporary relevance. So potluck also, house building potluck, marriage potluck, puberty potluck. There are so many potlucks are there. So that also associated with the rightly passage rituals. So rightly passage rituals and gifts presentation. Collaring. Collaring is an example of ceremonial exchange where is islands of involved in exchange of items. కులా అని అడిగితేనే రాస్తాం. ఇందులో రాసినప్పుడు కూడా కులాన్ని ఎక్కడెక్కడ మెన్షన్ చేసినా కూడా కీవర్డ్స్ తీసుకొచ్చారు. Argonauts of Western Pacific studied about the Trobriand Islands. The Trobriand Islanders follow the Kula. So the concept. So the
ceremonial exchange just
follow the Kula ring ritual. Items are exchanged. The items are exchanged. Savalavu, Mauli. The rituals involve exchange of two objects, Mauli, Savalavu, necklace, red shells. Okay. So the Kula ring is not a what is called not temporary. It is a permanent in nature. It has a definite place. It is bounded by definite procedures at defined time. At the departure, they follow rituals, follow the tabus. Every Kula member know their partner in Kula ring. Obligations are placed on the people who are involved in the Kula rings. They also carry commercial items with them. They exchange them with the non-Kula members. It strengthens the relationship among the islanders. It ensures social solidarity and the come to help each other through social. It places obligation on the It binds on the number of social restrictions. So very good. But you missed a very important aspect. Ceremonies associated with Kula system. Ceremonies associated. So Kanai building time. So whatever the Kanai is used for Kula. So they perform magical rituals. Kanai building time. So voyage time. So voyage time during the icy journey. they perform magical rituals for sea. Next, so Thanksgiving, when they reach to the safe to the other island, they perform magical rituals to the sea for Thanksgiving. అలాగే రిసీవర్స్ రిసీవర్స్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ద పీపుల్ బోత్ వాళ్ళు కలిసినప్పుడు 1 or 2 days రిచువల్స్ సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకుంటాం. సో దట్ రిచువల్స్, ఇవన్నీ రిచువల్స్ అనేది దేంతో అసోసియేట్ అయి ఉన్నాయి? దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద రిచువల్స్ ఓన్లీ మీట్ ఫర్ కులా వయేజ్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ మ్యాజికల్ రిచువల్స్. ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఏంటంటే మనం ఇందులో ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి ఆ సిస్టమ్. దెన్ వీ కెన్ షో దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ కాంప్లెక్స్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ రిలీజియన్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఎకనామిక్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్. అప్పుడు మనకి సెరమోనికల్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ అనేది ఫుల్ఫిల్ అయింది. సెరమోనీ ప్లస్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ మీన్స్ గూడ్స్ టు గూడ్స్. సెరమోనీ మీన్స్ రిలీజియన్ ఈజ్ ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్. సో ఇవన్నీ పెట్టి మన బుక్లో ఉన్నాయి. మొత్తం 5 మ్యాజిక్స్ ఉంటాయి కులా సిస్టమ్తో అసోసియేటెడ్ ఫంక్షన్స్. ఓకే, బాగానే రాసాం. సో నువ్వు కావాలంటే యూ కెన్ గ్లోరిఫై హియర్ కులారింగ్ని. సో యాక్చువల్లీ మలినోస్కి గ్లోరిఫైడ్ దట్. వీ థాట్ దీస్ పసిఫిక్ ఐలాండ్ పీపుల్ వర్ savagery people. They have no rational mind, but they have well adapted system. They know how to survive in the small islands to gather all required things. అర్థమైందా? అంటే జనరేషన్ ఆఫ్టర్ జనరేషన్స్ దే హ్యావ్ ఫిక్స్డ్ రూల్స్ రిగార్డింగ్ సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దేర్ నీడ్స్. దే వర్ వెల్ అడ్వాన్స్డ్ ఇన్ ద థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ దెన్ కంపేర్డ్ టు ద వెస్టర్న్ పీపుల్. దట్స్ వే ఈ వాజ్ గ్లోరిఫైడ్ దట్ ట్రోబ్రాండర్ సొసైటీ. That glorification also you brought here. Actually anthropology means glorification of indigenous people. Same in this manner, same he actually talk about. So they have advanced system of economics than the western people. ఏంటిది? డివాస్టేషన్స్, మచ్ మోర్ డివాస్టేషన్ టు ద ట్రైబల్ పీపుల్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎకానమీ. Geographical and primitive nature, they lack proper basic amenities. Their economy is non-monetized in nature. They use simple technology led to the simple life. Actually, they are hunters and gather practicing. Okay, pastoral people keep bonds on this kinship bonds. Okay. Okay. So you can write like changes in their productions, changes in their distribution mechanisms, distributions and exchanges. Third one, changes in their consumption patterns. So production, both we have collective economies, collection economies, producing economies. So collection economies were mostly suffered. సో కేస్ స్టడీస్ ఏం పెట్టుకుంటాం అంటే అమెజాన్ ఫారెస్ట్ తీసుకో. అమెజాన్ ఫారెస్ట్స్ వర్ కన్వర్టెడ్ ఇంటూ అగ్రికల్చర్ ఫీల్డ్స్ ఆర్ దే వర్ గివెన్ టు ద ఎంఎన్సీ కంపెనీస్. సో దే డిస్ట్రాయిడ్ ద ఫారెస్ట్, దేర్ బై డిప్రైవ్డ్ దేర్ రీసోర్సెస్. అలాగే సెంట్రల్ ఇండియాలో సో మెనీ మల్టీనేషనల్ కంపెనీస్ ఆర్ స్టీల్ ఫ్యాక్టరీస్ ఇవన్నీ ఏం చేసి జనరల్గా డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్, లాస్ ఆఫ్ లైవ్లీవుడ్, ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్, సో వెల్నరబిలిటీ ఇవన్నీ. సో వాళ్ళ ఎకాలజీ, వాళ్ళ లైవ్లీవుడ్, వాళ్ళ యొక్క ఆల్ గ్రేవ్యార్డ్స్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దే లాస్ట్. సో నాట్ ఓన్లీ హియర్ దేర్ ఇండిజీనియస్ నాలెడ్జ్. So indigenous knowledge got patented by the MNC companies. Actually the money from that patent should come to the tribal people, but it was taken over by the MNC companies. So land, livelihood, knowledge, alage displacements, everything you have to include. So distribution exchange, generally it was earlier barter and general reciprocity, redistribution kind of things in simple societies through monetization of their economies in the form of globalized phase. So everything required transaction in the currency. So here they got exploited, debt ridden. So these kind of things you can write. Consumption, earlier everything is shared between the kinsmen. Now individualism, consumerism, materialistic attitude, that also penetrated in the tribals. So these things you can include, and you can write case studies from Amazon forest and whatever. You can take a beautiful case study from Australian tribes. Earlier they were hunters and gatherers, but later they forced to settlers. So these kind of things, that means completely change of their economies. So apart from these things, you can add external points, or you can include whatever the possible case studies, either it from India or any kind North America, South America, Africa or Australia. These things you can place how their societies were before globalization, how their societies after globalization. You can write that person name. Person name Carl Polanyi. Carl Polanyi identified 3 types of exchanges and distribution. So first one, reciprocity, redistribution. So అతని బుక్ నేమ్ వచ్చేసి ద గ్రేట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్. So trade, Sahelins and services. He divided general exchange, general reciprocity, balanced reciprocity, as well as negative reciprocity. So here within the reciprocity you can brought ceremonial exchanges, barter trade. So these are all the reciprocity. Barter means give and take. Reciprocity also same. That comes under balanced reciprocity. So these are all not different, they are same. Reciprocity, redistribution, include trade. The person's authors is very important. Here you wrote for balance, general reciprocity, balanced reciprocity. ఎందుకని చదవట్లేదు? ఆథర్స్ నేమ్ ఎందుకు గుర్తుండట్లేదు నీకు? సైలెన్స్ డీలైనేటెడ్. ఓకే, reciprocity, general reciprocity. This type of exchange attached to the emotional, they are not bound to return exchange. They play out among the kinship and family members. So it only reinforce existing relations, but not for creating new relationships. Reinforcing existing relations. Balanced reciprocity. So type of good, value of good, quantity, quality, everything are specified in this balanced reciprocity. So it create new relations. So generally within the known persons in same village. Negative reciprocity. It is aimed bargaining to gain profit managers. Okay, one person gains, another person losses in this transaction. Chief individual. You can write a diagram. Uh, Family, lineage, clan, etc. General reciprocity. So village, balanced reciprocity. Tribe, negative reciprocity. అంటే సేమ్ క్లాన్ మెంబర్స్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్ మధ్య జరిగేది జనరలైజ్ రెసిప్రోసిటీ అయితే నోన్ పీపుల్ విత్ ఇన్ ద సేమ్ విలేజ్ బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ రెసిప్రోసిటీ అండ్ వన్ విలేజ్ టు అనదర్ విలేజ్ ఆర్ ట్రైబ్ మీన్స్ ఇట్స్ ఏ కంపోజిషన్ ఆఫ్ సో మెనీ విలేజెస్ సో దే ఆర్ అన్నోన్ టు ఈచ్ అదర్ వాళ్ళ మధ్య జరిగేది నెగటివ్ రెసిప్రోసిటీ దిస్ లెవెల్ యూ కెన్ డిలీట్. So what you are writing for? Redistribution is over. Rules and obligation actually occur between the people who are hierarchically ranked. The whole amount of production are pooled by the authorities. So centralized office, you can write like, you don't need to write all this entire thing. Generally redistribution kind of practice done in the chiefdom societies. So chiefdom society means he was the central authority. He has standing army. He has aid and advisors. So he was he can able to give capital punishment also. So regionally he can appoint smaller chiefs. He can remove the chiefs also. So therefore he was the central figure. So he was responsible for protecting the territory, welfare of the territory. So it is a territory bound concept. So to during the wars time, during the distress time, or providing the welfare to the needy people, he has to bring money from the treasury. This treasury is always filled through taxes. So this is the chiefdom feature. Simply you can write chiefdom feature. Trobriand Islanders of West Pacific here king collect. కింగ్ ఉండదమ్మా, కింగ్ అనేది స్టేట్ ఫీచరు, చీఫ్స్ అనాలి. సో బార్టర్ సిస్టమ్ అనేది సపరేట్ కదా, ఇట్ వాజ్ యాక్చువల్లీ రెసిప్రోసిటీ, నాన్ మానిటరింగ్ ఇన్ నేచర్. So formalist, substantive distributor. So where is trade, gift to trade, administrative trade, gift to trade, administrative trade, market trade. So these features also present among the simple societies, but not all societies. Gift trade means during the life cycle ceremony. So potluck kind of thing. Prestation. So prestations, life cycle ceremony time will check gifts. So administrative trade means, so the authority controls what to produce, when to produce, where to produce, the quantity, price and everything. Like communism in USSR. Next, market trade means it's kind of capitalism. Market decides what kind of goods are produced, how much quantity, how much prices, everything. So these features also found among the simple societies, somewhat advanced tribes. So these are all general exchanges in simple societies. So didn't you follow our book? At least if you feel that word limit is exceeding, you can put those things and simply wrote in one or two statements. So you feel that you know that, but because of paucity of space and time, you could not write everything. If you reduced it, you will evaluate whatever content you wrote. So you forgot major figure Malinowski. So these two persons actually brought this debate. So you forgot those two people only. So Malinowski, after studying Troubry and Rylanders, he said that to approach that simple society's economy, the modern economic principles were not applied because they were not economic men. But Raymond Firth, he understood Maori tribe of New Zealand. Maori tribe of New Zealand, they were economic men. They were applying rational thought. So he said that simple societies too operating modern principles. Then the debate started. So he took the view that they have modern principles were not applied in simple society. He said that he observed in Maori tribe modern principles are there. Then how to approach, what kind of stand should be taken to study the simple societies. There the debate started. Formalist debate, substantialist debate. So this is a very important question. Actually, I placed it inside our Telegram channel. So are you there in Telegram channel? So I placed this debate of formalism and substantialism. So once they brought these concepts, after that Carlo Polanyi, in his great transformation, he said that simple societies' economies were embedded with socio-cultural milieu as well as environmental adaptation to the environmental. So thereby, their societies could not be studied by using rational principle. So he took that those societies are substantialist economies. So another thing, urban societies or rural societies, they were rationalist, they were economic man. These things are very important. Economic man and economic theory. So these simple societies were they were not economic man. They dependent to satisfy all these needs, fellow human beings as well as nature. But here, economic theory does not hold. But economic theory, rationality applies for simple societies, rural societies, urban societies. But there are certain societies, their economic man and economic theories were absent. So those absent societies were substantialist economies. Those principles presenting societies were formal economies. So then here debates were analyzed on the basis of so scarcity, so unlimited wants, issues brought down by the formalists. So humans have unlimited wants. So the means to satisfy unlimited wants are very scarce. Then they apply rational thought to satisfy, which mean is satisfying more number of wants. So this is human behavior. Human behavior is same in everywhere. Thereby all societies could be applied these principles of rational mind. But here the substance which said that, so simple societies have not unlimited wants. They have few requirements: shelter, food, mating, and etc. So these things are matings were satisfied through cross-cultural marriages. Food and other materials are satisfied by the environment. Security and other things were satisfied by kinship groups. Then where else they have other requirements? If they have no unlimited wants, then where is the concept of scarcity? Then where is the concept of rational man and economic man? This is the way they counter this first argument. Second, he divided economies into formal economy, simple economy. Third one, so every this formalist brought that every society have market system. So they have pricing mechanism, okay, demand and supply principles. So thereby tribal societies too have this one. But they said that tribal markets were not only economic purpose. They fulfill various socio-cultural obligations. So political functions, economic functions, religious functions, even kinship functions was also served by the tribal markets. So they are weekly markets actually. So thereby the pricing mechanism, which we thought that the prices are the currency form of exchange, it's not present in every society. Thereby these issues also does not hold good for some simple society. If you go to rejectation. So first thing you can write who started debate and what way Carlo Polanyi brought economic man and economic theory, where it holds very good, and what were issues present in the debate, how one proposed and how others were countered. Then it became debate. Formalist and substantivist debate over how to approach study of simple societies. Then what way you will write conclusion? So both views are correct. So both views were correct. However, in a simple society, because of globalization, industrialization, urbanization, improved transportation and communication, most of the simple societies got linked with mainstream population. So they too started using the currency. So when it comes to the fellow men, they follow barter. When they are dealing with non-tribal people, they use currency. So that means simple societies were also hold to apply modern principles. At the same time, they never get rid of their traditional way of economic systems. So therefore, what trait in a society you are studying? If you are studying a society which got affected by globalized or monetized economy, there you will apply so formal principles. If you are studying a trait in a culture which is more kinship oriented, more environment adaptations, there you will apply substantivist principle. So it is the discretionary of the anthropologist in which society he is studying, what traits he is studying. So both principles could be applied in right now societies. So earlier societies were different, right now societies were completely different. That you have to write conclusion. So to show that simple societies have limited wants, you can take LP Vidyarthi concept. Even LP Vidyarthi also studied or showed that simple societies have limited wants. He studied Saurya Paharyas. You can borrow paper 2 concepts also, paper 1. Saurya Paharyas. So also called as Birhors. residing in Bihar. So he wrote Nature Man Spirit Complex. In this society, the average adult Saurya Paharya man has only 3 wants: food, sex, and shelter. So these 3 are their goals, no other goals. So that is the reason, because of their hunger for sex, they only maintain lineages. If it is a clan system, so much females to be excluded from the mating. If it is a lineage system, many females could be accommodated in the mating. So the forests are providing food, the fellow men are providing sex, so they getting their own shelter. They are living very happily in their society. Because of that, they are not ready to relocate it from that area. That's why he proposed this nature man spirit complex. So here వాళ్ళకైనా unlimited wants ఉన్నాయి. So this also you can borrow it. సో నువ్వు దీన్ని కనుక ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసినావు అనుకో ఈ క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు, సో ఎల్పి విద్యార్థి ఇన్ హిజ్ స్టడీ ఆఫ్ మాలేర్స్ showed that average Malayer has only 3 goals: